as humans, we are always prone to indiscipline. Gather sufficient experience, okay, and the experience will only come when you're working under someone. If you're doing good, the good word spreads. But if you're doing bad, the bad word spreads even faster. How to figure out um, the revenue management system and how to make sure that we are spending enough, saving enough, and taking out enough.
We want to create an impact. Like we don't want to like become just an agency. We want to मतलब अच्छे client के साथ काम करना है and impactful I would say.
So we were always in support of building a legacy. We don't want to build a company.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Is it worth it to start an agency in 2024? Yes or no? First, Siddhita. Yes or no?
Yes.
Harsh.
People.
And why is that? Hello, everyone, and welcome to the sixth episode of season two of Iterate. And today we have a very different episode where we have two guests instead of one. And we have today the founders of Brucira. Meet Harsh and Siddhita. Wow, that rhymed so well. Welcome, guys, to the show. And today, guys, we'll be covering the story of Brucera, the whole design studio. And we'll be covering the stories of Harsh and Siddhita. And they will be sharing us a lot of insights on agency building and agency creation overall and the long term sustainability by using AI and leveraging that. So, we'll be covering all of that. So, let's begin with the first question. Not a question, an introduction, moreover. So, let's start with Harsh with your introduction.
Thanks a lot, Vansh, for inviting us here. I will go. I'm Harsh, one of the co-founder of Brucira. I'm a 16 graduate from IIT Roorkee. I did my bachelor's in mechanical engineering. And yeah, I was always passionate about design, so took design as my um, go-to option.
Yeah,
Then I joined housing.com as a product designer. And after in 2018, I started with Brucera along with Siddhita. In here, I take care of the product department and also the business side at Brucera. Over to you, Siddhita.
Yes. So, hi guys, I'm Srita. I'm another founder of Brucira. I am a 2015 graduate from Sir JJ Institute of Applied Arts. I did my BFA over there. I did my master's in graphic design. And I started my career as an illustrator at housing.com. And that's where I meet Hush. And here at Brucera, I lead the creative department and takes care of all creative direction within the organization.
amazing. What a crisp introduction, guys. So, first questions first, obviously, I want to know like, how did you decide, to start the whole agency idea? What was in your mind?
So to answer your question, let me first understand what all needs to be start a company. So first is identifying the gap in the market. Second is right team to fill the gap, and third is market size. So during 2016 to 18, illustrations were in trend, like especially that like flowing and like really characters illustration, which was also my style type. So back then, almost every website used to have illustration. Um, be it the first fold and explaining features of the products, people were preferring illustrations everywhere. During that time, Harsh used to take my help for some of these website projects. So I worked with him on the several projects, and there when we observed the gap in the market, where some people were good in UI side and some people were good in illustration, and that's where I think we observed that gap.
Okay,
Yeah.
very interesting. So, want to know when and how did you, start Brucera overall?
Um, so it's a very interesting story of starting Brucera. As Siddhita mentioned that we found the gap. So if there was a product designer, he was not good with the illustration. He was good with the layouting skills. And if there was an illustrator, he used to suck with the layouting skills. That's what the market was, and it was same for not just for the freelancers
mm,
but also for the agencies. And yeah, so we already took the decision to start the company. It was in year 2017 ending where we took that decision. uh, Earlier we decided that we will be doing a soft launch. So
okay,
I was working at housing at that time, and Seta was working at Turtlement as a product designer only. So um, I like we thought that let's do a soft launch. Soft launch in the sense make a dribble channel or make a single page website.
mm,
And for the entire 2018, we will be just saving money, because as a very young designer or a young person, we never thought of saving money
mm,
from the money you used to get from jobs. And like we didn't have any kind of savings, so we thought like it's better to at least have a good bank balance before we get full time on our agency business. So that was the plan. 2018 full for saving some money from the job and all, and some from the project. And in 2019 we were supposed to get full time on Brucera. Now
okay,
what happened was, during that time only, during February 2018, in January 2018, we did the soft launch of Brucera. In February, the news came out that housing got acquired by Prop Tiger. That was in Gurgaon. Okay. So now the Prop Tiger team asked all the designers to come to Gurgaon. And we were at that time we were just 7 designers at housing. So I knew for a fact that if you're thinking of making a company, we can't like live in different cities. You can't really build a company living like working online.
mm,
So, and but at the same time, we knew that we don't have any kind of saving.
mm,
Okay, so either I have to shift to Gurgaon or I have to quit my job.
mm,
And I also had an option of taking up another jobs here in Mumbai, but it was like कि अभी अगर गड्ढे में कूदना ही है तो पूरा कूदो.
mm,
Okay, so without having any kind of saving, absolutely zero bank balance, I decided that I will quit my job and start Brucera full time. And Siddha continued her job, and I think she continued her job till August. So yeah, that's how Brucera started. Like that's how I became a full-time member in Brucera in 2018 only,
mm.
despite of the fact that we wanted to start in 2019. And that was the most challenging part as well, because there was no planning. It was kind of a spontaneous decision. And even because I didn't have any saving, so I also had a like tough time
Mm.
arranging my own rent. Like the apartment I was living in, I couldn't afford that rent as well, because I had no salary. So at that time, Siddhita helped me out. She shared some of my rent, and that's how we survived the initial days. So that's the story of starting Brucera.
That is so sweet. And Harsh, it takes guts, man, to like, you know, quit instantly without like having that much savings and like starting a new thing. It is a breathtaking move, obviously. And when we hear the name, obviously we want to dive deeper into the story and like how did you guys start properly. But when we hear the name Brucera, it creates a joy for some reason in my mind. What is the actual meaning of Brucera?
So we actually took almost 2 months to come up with this name.
Okay.
It's like when we decide to open a design agency, we wanted to make sure that we are building something very unique.
Hmm,
So for a really long time, agencies in India were known for a place where you can get designs for cheap, and that has been perception somewhere till now. And we wanted to change that perception, and for that we really needed a strong brand.
hmm,
So we made sure like whatever we comes up with needs to be very unique and that's why a unconventional name Brucira. So, so Brucira comes from two words. One is Bru and second is Sira. So Sira is an Egyptian word, means sun god. So you can, yeah, so you can associate sun with lots of positive things like growth,
Hmm.
new beginning,
Yeah.
energy, etc. And brew is from brewing coffee.
Hmm.
So you brew coffee to get best out of it. So that's why name Brucira, taking the best out of it.
And next, like I can see like you guys have put in 2 months of work and it paid off definitely.
Thanks.
Obviously, coming back to Harsh, he was mentioning the struggles and the start of Brucera overall. Obviously, now that you guys are running an agency, it's been like almost 6 to 7 years. There have been difficult phases, obviously. It's always at the start, but also in the middle as well. So, want to know how did you tackle those difficulties, and also want to know what were those difficulties.
Um, Great. So I will start from the very beginning.
Hmm.
As I mentioned, the rental and all these were the basic stuff. The main was the survival.
Hmm.
Like because for rent, I could always reach out to my parents and friends. Uh, but in order to scale, because now that we have decided to open a design agency, we needed clients. So the very first challenge was how to figure out um, the revenue management
Hmm.
system and how to make sure that we are spending enough, saving enough, and taking out enough. So, what happened was, very honestly, Brucera got the first break or got the initial push because of Siddhita's work. So, Siddhita, before even starting Brucera, she worked with Google already, and where she worked with one of their healthcare product and made some illustrations. And
Yeah, on do.
yeah, Ondu.
Mm.
And she used to do a lot of illustration. She was kind of a good influencer in the world of illustrators. On Dribble, nowadays people don't use a lot like Dribble a lot. They just use it for portfolio. Back then, we used it for our growth. So Sita was one of those designers who had 10K plus followers on Dribble at that time. So she used to get a lot of queries. So we decided कि like सिद्धिता की तरफ से कुछ कुछ क्लाइंट्स आएंगे, मेरी तरफ से कुछ कुछ क्लाइंट आएंगे. So the first business model we decided was कि whatever she gets, she will put in some amount, 20% amount in the company's account, and rest she will take as her salary. Same for me. Now, since the profile of the company was more towards the illustration,
Hmm.
so we never used to get the product projects. So all the time we used to get illustration projects.
Hmm.
So in a way, only she was contributing towards the company, and I was practically doing nothing. Uh, and then there were time where I used to get product design project because we got a small project of a mobile application. So I was the one doing that. So the role of Siddhita was like kind of earnings were less and the contribution was majorly from my side.
Hmm.
Now that put us in a very difficult situation because this is not a viable model to work with. Like taking the project as your own and just putting 20% of the amount in the company. This is more of a freelancer model
Correct.
when they start because you are just getting insecure about the money or about your contribution
Hmm.
towards the company. So that was a first good decision. That what we did was like we said like, hey, like let's treat every project as the company's project and let's draw salaries
Hmm.
instead of doing it in a reverse format. So we placed every amount in the company account and we started taking salary. We started with like a 10,000 rupees per month as salary, and rest everything we used to put in the company. So that was the initial challenge, like understanding how the commercials, how the financial should work.
Hmm.
The second thing was, of course, getting the client or our first client. So because we didn't have any experience, any knowledge, or any online presence, of obviously there was no prominent project were coming to us. So what we did, we spent the entire time and energy in building our portfolio.
Okay.
So basically, whatever projects we did as freelancer, like there were hardly 2 to 3 projects we did
Hmm.
because we were not that much into freelance.
Okay.
We just refined them, kind of redesigned them,
Hmm.
and just started placing them on our social media channels.
Okay.
And that's how we started getting traction.
Interesting.
And yeah, so I think it took us at least 3 to 4 months to get us first, like a kind of a client that is giving a decent amount of money.
Got it.
So yeah, that was the initial time when we had to go through a lot of patience. We had to keep a lot of patience,
Hmm.
and keep doing the things we were good at without even thinking about that we will get some projects or not. So that was a tough time, I would say. And yeah, later on, once we got some project, things were relatively smoother.
Hmm.
And we decided, like, because as a company owner, so it's a difference between building a group of freelancer and building a company.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't understand the difference. They just start a company, however they're operating like a freelance group.
Hmm.
So building a company is more like taking more responsibilities.
Hmm.
You are accountable, you are responsible for the people you are taking in.
Hmm.
So we made sure that we won't be taking any employee until unless we do have a security for him or her for the next 6 to 8 months or more than that.
Interesting.
So for the entire 2018, it was just me and Siddhita.
Hmm.
And we did our first
Yeah.
hiring in
Mm.
December 2018.
Wow.
So for the entire year, it was just us working, and we made like we were able to save somewhere around 10 to 15 lakh in our
Hmm.
account in the first year,
That makes sense.
and yeah, that's how we started with our hiring.
A very interesting story, and I think you chose a very brilliant model to not to hire someone at the start, because obviously you have to pay them salaries, you have to communicate more, तो आपका भी bandwidth उसमें ज़्यादा जाएगा, stuff like
It's
that.
not the bandwidth, once it's the responsibility.
Correct, obviously.
Okay, so like thinking the like now, like if you are seeing in the current market,
Hmm.
uh, there are a lot of layoffs happening.
Yeah.
It's mostly because the company is not able to understand that whether the person will be able to give value,
Hmm.
or whether the company has the sufficient fund to sustain this person for the next few months or years.
Got it.
And that's the reason why the layoffs are happening, and people are treating humans as expendable goods.
Hmm.
And that's what makes us sad.
Hmm.
So you need to treat a person who employ as a human being,
Fair.
not as goods.
Hmm.
So that's why we decided to. It was never about giving time,
Hmm.
because we till now we give personal attention to a lot of people who
Yeah.
joins us. We sit with them, we make them learn things and all.
Mm.
For us, time is never a concern.
Fair.
It's about whether I'm able to provide for that person or not.
Very interesting. Also, like coming back to Siddhita, Harsh mentioned that back in the day 2018, you had like
Mm.
10K followers on Dribble.
Mm.
How did you do that?
Um, Hard work, I would say. Yeah, like to be very honest, yeah, it was nothing but just a passion. I want to learn like new things and wanted to do multiple things, and yeah, that's how, like, ऐसे कुछ पर्टिकुलर था नहीं यार,
Hmm.
टारगेट्स नहीं थे कि इतना ही करना है उतना ही करना है.
Hmm.
Yeah, मतलब I was just like doing and
So,
yeah.
like you were posting more on Dribble, something like that,
Yes, I was
and
posting more on Dribble.
like what I think एक और question जो दिमाग में आ रहा है, like nowadays, as Harsh also said, the dribble and the Behance things are now only used for portfolios.
Hmm.
How was it back in the day?
It was
Very
lovely.
different. It was very lovely. Yeah, मतलब actually आप इंस्पिरेशन के लिए ड्रिबल ओपन किया करते थे एंड काफी सुंदर सुंदर आपको इंस्पिरेशन दिख भी जाते थे.
Correct.
Nowadays it's gone.
Fair.
So yeah, it was very different. मतलब एक्चुअली वहां पे देखे वो तुम्हें इंस्पिरेशन फील होता था.
Mhm.
And right now we have platforms like Pinterest or maybe Lapa Ninja or awards, but that 2018 wala dribble ka charm was different, like something else.
And
Right.
because people were not just going on Dribble to post their work, they were also going there to take feedbacks.
Hmm.
And it
So,
was invite base.
yeah,
Yeah, that
Oh,
time
when
it was
it was
invite
yeah,
base.
when we started on
Yeah.
Dribble, it was invite only, and people used to go. I remember when we were in housing, we used to post, and after every minute we used to check Dribble, like how many likes are there, any comment I should reply to them. That was kind of feeling about Dribble. And there used to be great designers there, like Gleb
Mm.
from Fantasy. He
hmm.
had it like Fantasy. And whenever like he used to comment on any of our posts, it was like life is sorted now, we have gained whatever we wanted to. So it was that kind of emotion about Dribble.
Hmm.
And
आई वुड से कि लिमिटेड लोग थे, तो लिमिटेड लोग होने के कारण काफी क्वालिटी कंटेंट भी मिल जाता था वहां
Fair.
पे.
yeah,
या.
and
So I
people were
think.
very much they want to support other people, they want to give feedback. Nowadays if you go to Dribble, any comment you get, it's because that person wants you to check their portfolio.
Hmm.
There's no other reason they're commenting on your profile.
I think invite only was like a filter back in the day, and it eliminated most of the guys who were just there for just showing their work or like stuff like
Mhm.
that. And I think it was back in the day. And now that I've heard about it from you guys, it was like Instagram for designers back in the day, like it's now.
Yeah,
Oh.
and
Yeah, like, and you can actually get views because back in the day, like in 2018, I think there was no reels on Instagram as well. It was only posts.
mhm.
So, okay, very interesting.
You know how difficult it was to get a Dribble profile. Like I
Invite,
had to,
invite.
you have to give, like someone will give you invite only if you create a Dribble shot and show it to them for review. If they like your Dribble shot, then
Oh
only they will send us
yeah,
the invite.
yeah, I
So
still remember
I
that.
created my Dribble shot, first Dribble shot. We used to say it like I think we used to call it like maybe first Dribble shot or opening shot, whatever.
Opening shot.
I
Huh.
sent it to my senior in housing, Rahul Bhosle. I think Siddhita also got her invite from Rahul only.
Yeah, I
And
don't remember
like,
when
yeah,
you
I
helped
checked with
me.
him. He gave me feedback that this is how you should change it. I changed it again. It's just like kind of an assignment you give before entering to a company,
Mm,
and then you enter to the platform. Now, just imagine how difficult it was. So you have a different value for that platform because you have given so much efforts to get into that platform.
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, coming back to the agency side, as you were mentioning the approach that you guys had at start and like you were getting clients. Coming to clients, obviously the hot topic of every freelancer and agency. What is what is your approach and how do you find clients basically?
Like surprisingly, like till now, we don't have any marketing or a business team. So all the clients that you see on our website reach out to us for work. Like it's like I would say like strong word of mouth about Brucira in the market
Hmm.
that gets us client.
I think it's the
And
sun effect.
and it's like we work for one client and we do good work, and they recommend us to some other clients, and that's how we have been running till now.
Wow.
And like yeah, and like trust me, it's not that easy
Hmm.
how may it sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like for that as well, you need to do a lot of hard work to get the that strength where you are like growing organically, then working with the right people, selecting the right project is it's very important.
Hmm.
uh, and a lot of young companies just run towards money and take up any kind of project. Unfortunately, that project just give us the monetary gain, and sadly not long term brand building. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's what
I
it
will
is.
add up to this. I think the most crucial part of like during your initial days,
Hmm.
uh, like what we did right was we were very patient
Hmm.
about getting the right client. We used to get a lot of queries, but we were very selective about them because we knew that it was just me and Siddhita and one or two employees when it was like 2019.
Hmm.
Uh, but we made sure that it's better to take a it better not to take a project and work on your portfolio only
Hmm.
instead of taking a bad kind of a typical enterprise project which will just give you like dashboard work which you can't, first of all you can't upload, second you are under an NDA, you can't push that out on your website, because we were at a growing stage. We wanted to push content every month, every week.
Hmm.
Now imagine if I'm working for an enterprise client, I will get to push that work after a year, so I won't be able to invest in my marketing efforts.
Hmm.
So that's the decision we took. And again, that decision is a harder one because you have to compromise a lot on the money factor.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
it was kind of like for months and months we were not earning anything
Hmm.
because we were just waiting for the right project.
Very interesting. Also, like obviously everyone starts somewhere. You guys
Mhm.
also build up a lot. First
Mhm.
client से लेके now you guys are work. You have worked with Zepto, Google, and big companies like also Disney
Yeah.
for
Hmm.
that fact. So how's it like working with these big firms?
Like working with big companies is always, I would say, challenging and
Hmm.
satisfying at the same time.
Mixed feeling.
Yeah, it's mixed feeling. Like as a designer, you always want to create greater impact, and working with these type of companies give you that platform where your design being seen by millions, and that gives us satisfaction
Hmm.
to us and our team. And talking about the challenges, working with such a big names could be very like difficult as well. There is a huge reputation on our shoulders.
Yeah.
So every process must be documented. Then our designs need to be like about perfect. Like we can't afford to overlook any details, because it's single misstep could be just a like
Hmm.
serious propagation.
Hmm.
So yeah, so like most of the business comes from the positive.
Uh,
Hello.
yeah. Can you repeat your last sentence, Siddhartha?
Hello, am I
Yeah.
audible
Yeah.
now?
Yeah. You are audible.
I
Yeah.
think I can
So,
add up to this. So most of our business, because as we mentioned, like we don't have any business or marketing team.
Hmm.
So entire business of Brucira till now comes from word of mouth. So when you're working with such huge names,
Hmm.
so if you're like doing good, the good word spreads. But if you're
mm,
doing bad, the bad word spreads even faster. So that's why it's a kind of a it's kind of challenging and very tricky as well. So
Hmm.
you can't really screw up at any moment with these clients. So yeah,
Yeah.
this is how it
Like
like.
Siddhartha mentioned, the responsibility that are there on his
yeah.
shoulders. Very interesting. Also, like Siddhartha mentioned, the team. How did you guys form a team? And what does Brucera look in a person?
Yeah. So we always look. Uh, so as a company, I will start with like as a company, if you want to grow, the first thing you should do is find people who can replace you. So not just at a skill level, but also at a kind of a like how you are as a person.
Hmm.
So we believe that we both have a very positive outlook towards be it life, towards our work, towards other people we work with. So we always look for similar kind of people. Like during our interviews, we don't give a lot of flying perks to the skills. Definitely, skills is a very important part,
Mm,
and that always gets sorted during the resume shortlisting process. But when once we start the interviewing process,
mm,
we know for a fact that we can train someone easily.
fair.
We can like help them improve their skills.
Mm,
We can help them learn more tools, gain more knowledge. But the thing we can't really help is the attitude.
yeah.
So that what we look at. So attitude comes first. If your attitude is like, okay, मेरा काम हो गया, मेरे को दूसरे से मतलब नहीं है, then you are not a good fit for Brucira.
Mm,
Doesn't matter how good you are not a good fit. Like if you're the best designer in the country, but you have a bad attitude, you won't be getting a place here. So
interesting.
yeah.
So,
And,
like, as we are now talking about the agency, uh,
mm,
in our episodes, generally the first question is always the roadmap, of building an agency. So,
mm,
would like to get on that segment. What is the roadmap like to get into an agency, and if you can give a step-by-step process
mhm.
for the audience.
So like basically how to
Yeah,
start an agency? Yeah. Okay. The most interesting question. Yeah. See, the thing we were discussing before, Vansh, like
yeah,
the intent. It's not just about starting an agency. It's also about starting a company, any company for that.
correct.
So the intent matters the most. So why someone wants to start something by their own? Um, I have talked to a lot of people. People like they reach out to us. They ask like, okay, I want to create an agency, build a company or something. I always ask why. And the most of the cases, the answers like there are two types of answer. One is I want to make money. Second is I don't want to work under anyone. I think if you are like if your intent is out of both of these, it's very unlikely you will succeed. See, uh, like not working under someone is fine, also fine, because maybe you are not getting the right kind of mentors, maybe you are not getting the right of side of peoples, and maybe the behavior is rude, maybe the mentorship is not right. Also, yeah, everyone wants to earn money. Without money, you can't survive, and everyone has do have ambitions. But making money as your core intent or as your core goal won't take you anywhere. Explain you the reason. So let's say your intent is just to make money. Okay. So for you, the definition of success is money. Okay. Now you start a company the same way we started. You are working hard there, and you're working hard, you're gaining some traction and all stuff. In your mind you have a definition of money that okay, if you start doing something your own, you will earn in like crores in a year, you will earn like become a millionaire in some year and all stuff, because that's what goes in your mind when the intent is making money. But unfortunately what happens is when you are with that mindset, and the world is not strawberry land. Okay, the world will throw a lot of things on you and you have to face it. So when you are going through your downs, you start doubting yourself because you're not earning money. And earning money was your definition of success. Okay. So you start doubting your skills that, okay, I'm not able to make the money I wanted to. So maybe this is not the right thing to do. Maybe I'm into the wrong business. So that's the worst part, because you have made money your core motivation. So I think if you're able to get out of that, then only you will be able to start something. So you need to have different visions. See, money and taking your own decision are kind of a side product. So your main intent needs to be different. It should be something more valuable that can take you like maybe like that can take you like further ahead, because there will be a point where you will have earned sufficient enough that you won't have further motivation to work in your company. Okay, so you need to have a goal, you need to have a vision.
Very interesting. And also, like, getting to the roadmap now.
Mm,
Now that you have said that you need to have a good mindset, and you need to have that mentality to fight the downs. Also, like, coming back to the roadmap now.
mm,
What is it like to just start a company? What investment does it take at start, and
mm.
how do you build over an agency from scratch?
From scratch. Uh, First of all, uh, let's take example of starting up a design agency. Okay, so the challenges that we discussed that we faced, everyone will face the same kind of challenges. Now, to because we also started very young, like we were 23 or 24 when we started. Okay, and a lot of things we learned over this period of time, getting a lot of uh, like downtime. There were a lot of there was a long phase where we were kind of uh, not very confident about our own decision. Okay, uh, so the first uh, challenge or the first thing is gather sufficient experience. Okay, and the experience will only come when you're working under someone. Okay, so in our case, we were from very reputed colleges. Okay, we already had a very big network with us, so there were a lot of people to support us.
Hmm.
That might not be the case with everyone. So either you already have a backing of networks, or you build that backing with experience. So like you're working for over like 4 to 5 or 6 years, you are like you have a solid network now in every different industry, which might help you during the process of building your company. And then you start off, because again the same thing, if you start off very early, like right after college or after a year or 2 years of experience, you are just starting off by the skill you have, like with like let's say you are a designer, so you're just starting looking at that skill. But trust me, your design skill or your marketing skill or your technical skill just plays less than 20% of the role in building a company. There are a lot of other skills you need to have. You need to have people skill. You need to have like you need to understand accounts, finance. You need to have like the HR side sorted. You need to have the um what do you say, the motive, like you need to be a good leader. You need to be able to motivate people to work for a goal. So there are a lot of skill you can't learn in college or school, and you can't even learn working like for a very short amount of time. So that you need to take experience, like you like because you're working in an organization, you are getting promoted to managerial level. That's where you start interacting with people. That's where you start interacting with other teams, and then you do that. You build a successful product, or you complete few projects, interact with clients. That will improve your sales skill, which is a very important skill to have. Okay, in our case, my sales skill improved over a period of time because like I had another startup before Brucira where I spoke to close to 200 VCs. Okay, although that failed, but that made me learn a lot of skills. Okay, so that's helped me in Brucera. So you need to have all those kind of skills in order to start. So I think that is the answer, like how you should really start. Okay, now getting to the next phase. So the starting phase is always like that. You need to be resilient about things. You need to be very passionate about what you do. You need to be patient, and you should have that never give up attitude. Okay, you cross the first initial foundation phase, then comes the growth phase. So in the growth phase, uh, there will be a lot of hurdles, because till now you just know how to complete a project with the set of people you have, but you don't really know how to scale the team now from a 5 to 6 member, how to become 10 to 15, and then from 10 to 15 you don't know how to become 30 to 40. So even like when we started here, so like where I'm sitting, this was our office. So we started from my own apartment, and we in the hall we used to have a dining table, and it was just six of us used to sit from here. A lot of people like they when we used to offer them the role, they were happy about everything, but they were very skeptical that the company was being operated from a flat. So they were not like joining us a lot, like we have seen a lot of applications like that who were right fit for the company. We gave them the desired offer as well, but they did join because we were operating from our apartment. So those are also the challenges, like how to get your first office, because you can't really invest. It's a real estate. It needs a constant income. So every time we used to sit, we used to think about that. Okay, अभी 6 लोग हैं, क्या होगा हम 10 हो जाएंगे, क्या कैसे मैनेज करेंगे? तो उसके लिए like you first like now it's a chicken and egg problem. What happens is, if you're operating 6 people, if you're having 6 people and you have a X amount of inflow of business, you know that this is the amount of work these 6 people can do. Now, in order to take the next work, because every work, the deadline is yesterday, the client want to start immediately. So you don't really have time to hire someone in that short amount of time.
Mm.
And you can't hire before having a project. So you are getting it like it's a chicken and egg problem. So neither you can increase the account without a business, nor you can take more business without the increase of count. So you need to find a very sweet balance, sweet spot where like what is the right time to hire. So those are the challenges of growth. And once you grow, so every stage do have a different challenge. Under 10, different. Like you are like a family in an apartment. Exactly. You can sit with everyone. You can hang out with everyone. You can like call them to your house. You can have parties and all. Okay. 10 to 20, you need a bigger space. Okay. You need a kind of very like a basic level of hierarchy in your organization. And then yeah, still it's manageable, like because we were two founders, 20 managing 20 people was still not a challenge. Say they used to handle 10, I used to handle the other 10. Then you go further. That's where you so a lot of people tells like a lot of senior folks always tells that there needs to be a boundary between there needs to be a process in place in order to like in order to operate a company. But when you're operating at such a small level, you don't really acknowledge that part, because you always think that everything is going fine. What can go wrong? Why I need a leave policy? Why I need a appraisal policy? Why I need a like all kind of policies that a company built? Why I need a what is it, that thumbprint machine
Uh,
in my office for attendance? You think about that, like why I need, because I was never into that culture. But soon you grow, you realize that the policies and the HR and the like because HR and policy are really underrated things. So you get to know about that when you start seeing lack of productivity in your team. You start seeing bad influence getting like penetrated in your team. In a good culture you created, there will be other things that will penetrate, and that's where you start thinking about these policies. Because as humans, we are always prone to indiscipline. Okay. Now, till the time you as founders can control people and get in touch with everyone, everything is fine. But once you go a step ahead, let's say 40 or even 30 plus, as founders we can't control everyone. Okay. And that's where you need policies. So these are the different phases, and I still don't know what will happen when we'll go and become a team of 100, but we will figure it out. We have figured it out throughout. So yeah, these are the multiple phases of running a company, starting off and like growing it.
Very interesting. Wow, like wanna know like how did Harsh got this many insights?
Huh? In fact, it's the experience, man.
Experience.
Like
Like, see,
obviously like
nothing. Mhm.
at the start also like a lot of people keep asking me like from where do you get this energy and like stuff like that and like these ideas that you have this level of planning with execution is also very important, correct? So this is I think inbuilt gifted keh lo ya whatever is a skill that you can build on also, not a gifted skill, but I think some people have it from the start, if you agree
Um,
with me.
I don't agree with that. It's the again, it's the attitude with which
Yeah.
you live your life. Okay,
Hmm.
and attitude takes time to build.
Fair.
So if like, see,
Yeah.
I give you an example.
Yeah.
Very something very close to me. I was captain of athletics team in IIT Roorkee. Okay. Okay. I was also a 100-meter sprinter and all. That's a different story. Now, that time, I used to treat, because I was from a boys' college, okay, boys' school, and I got into mechanical. So obviously, I was not having any kind of interaction with girls. Okay. So I used to treat both boys and girls of my team the same. However, it's not possible. Okay. There are monthly cycles of a woman during which they can't come to the field, they can't really perform well. And I used to expect the same kind of performance. Okay. There was, although I was, from to me, I was always right, because I was doing whatever I'm doing for my team. So I needed my girls' team to be performing well, I needed my boys' team to be performing well. But the way I'm doing it was not right. So there a lot of uh, I heard like a lot of girls were not really happy with the way I used to treat. Okay, and because you were very young, and I used to be very loud with my actions. Okay, a lot of few of the girls actually cried on the field because how strict I was. So that was the mistake I did. So first is, you need to acknowledge that you have committed a mistake. So the first thing I did, soon I decided to, because at that time also I was leading a team. I could have brought the same kind of mindset here in Brucira as well. Okay. Now, the first thing I did before, even it was in 2017, all the girls I interacted, I didn't have a great experience with, they didn't had a great experience with me. I messaged them on Facebook. I confronted that, okay, that was a mistake. I was a jerk. And like, yeah, I'm really sorry for whatever things and all. And I was just doing it for the team. Okay. I confronted them. They also agreed to that part. So I first resolved that part. And then I made sure that in the next company I will be building, in the next leadership role I will be going, I will be very conscious, or I will be very like cautious about all of these factors. I need to be very mature about these things. Okay. I need to understand the limitations of humans. I need to understand the motivations. I need to understand why they're doing that particular stuff. And then I that's the way I should be treating an individual. So it's like about learning from your mistakes and taking the right actions. So no one gets it from the very beginning. It's the attitude that makes you take the
Definitely.
right decisions.
Yeah, I think I agree 100% with the experiences that you
Everything
witness.
comes, and because
Yeah.
every person has a different route.
Hmm.
Like,
Mm.
I can't, if I give you that,
Definitely.
okay, start
Everyone
connecting
has
A
their own journeys, that's for sure.
as an own journey. So you need to experience
Yeah.
that journey.
Very
Yeah.
interesting. All right. Coming back to the topic also, as you guys are founders and you guys have How many people are working right now in Brucira?
40.
40.
Yeah, around 40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. So like, what comes into your minds and what keeps you going as founders? Okay, that we have like 40 other people to back and run the company as well at the same time. And yeah, wanna know more.
Yeah, Sita, you want to take it?
Yeah.
Um, yes. So, what keeps us going as a founder is the hope that we can really make an impact in the industry. So, we think that India do have really great potential to become a powerhouse of design, just like how China is a powerhouse of manufacturing. So, in order to achieve the same, the first steps need to be taken by the design agencies that we all need to come together and like need to work hard towards that goal. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I will add to this. See, if you have ever been to, let's say Dubai or Bali or Europe, London, and all, you will see a great blend of creativity, aesthetics, and experience, user experience.
Mm,
Okay, and I think India hasn't still reached there. Okay, there's a lot of maturity. We are like kind of 5 to 10 years. If like, see, that's my again my quantification. Okay, but we are 5 to 10 years behind. Okay, so in order to bridge that gap, we definitely need to work more. We definitely
mm,
need to work much harder than the other countries. Okay, so our goal, like, every time person, or like, if you must have freelanced, you must have seen like people do have a different attitude for an Indian designer or Indian agency. From western, like, from a person from western country, they come to India for a more economical design, like at a better price. No one comes to India for a great design. Okay, you won't find anyone that they're reaching out to Indian designer or Indian agency कि यार ये तो बहुत अच्छा काम करते हैं. They see that, okay, they are doing decent, and the cost will be lower. So we want to change that perception.
mm.
That's why we are working. So as I mentioned, like, starting an agency or a company, you need to have a vision, you need to have intention. That's our intention. That's our vision, to make India a powerhouse of design,
Very interesting.
where, yeah, where everyone should come to India. Like,
Yeah.
okay, boss, like, there's no other, like, this is a nation which has the proper understanding of product, blends greatly with creativity,
Agreed.
and they give us a great experience.
100%. And I think that's where that the drive that you're talking about,
Mm.
that is exactly like Mera wala drive also.
Mhm.
I also wanna create big names and like take India forward. So like, as there is no design hub right now in the world, India has the potential to become the first design hub.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just because,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
as you have seen the tech side, we
Mm.
have Germany coming in as the hub, and like IT space, maybe we have other countries as well which are taking over, stuff like that. Secondly, like, we have US obviously, who's very ahead when it comes to EVs and stuff like that. When it comes to Elon Musk, Tesla hai, and OpenAI is of obviously ChatGPT and Sam Altman, the Salt guy. Very interesting. So, also wanna know, coming to the vision again, what are you guys trying to do with Brucera? And I would want Siddhita to start and then Harsh to end.
Can you
So,
repeat your yeah question?
Yeah, I was saying ki, what do you guys want to achieve with Brucera?
As I said, like we want to create an impact. Like
Hmm.
we don't want to like become just an agency. We
Hmm.
want to मतलब अच्छे client के साथ काम करना है and impactful. I would say
Okay.
like we want to do quality work over quantity.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So we were always in support of building a legacy.
Hmm.
We don't want to build a company.
Yeah.
Mm.
We want to think like 10 years down the line, 5 years down the line,
Mm.
when people think about Brucira,
Yeah.
or when people think about design, they should think about Brucira.
Hmm.
And just like in business consultancy, like you have McKinsey,
Hmm.
Mm.
we want to become
Hmm.
the McKinsey of design.
Wow.
Yeah. So
That's
that's the
amazing.
vision. And we like we want to create an entire ecosystem
Hmm.
where we can support the other industries, where we can support the other people. So together we can build that kind of like the powerhouse we were talking about, or
Hmm.
the hub.
Hub.
That's only possible if we are able to take our brand,
Hmm.
or people, other agencies as well, are able to take the brand at international standards. So we really need to understand that what's the meaning of international standard of design is,
Yeah.
because
Very true.
we, like in India, most of the clients or the companies are just struggling with a basic problem.
Hmm.
Like we are just trying to solve the basic necessities of product design. We are not getting into the, like, if you will hardly find a design first company,
Yeah.
like there are only very few names
Yeah.
in the country, design led, or like a design first, which gives the design most of the importance, or the business is being driven by design
Yeah.
because of design.
Yeah.
So when we started, like housing was one of them, where the housing were having a upper edge from rest of the giants because of its design and user experience.
Mm.
Yeah.
So you won't get those kind of mature companies
Hmm.
in India a lot, and that's the reason uh, why like even we are not getting, or the design community is not getting the sufficient exposure.
Hmm. Got it. Yeah.
So we really need to raise that bar now. You really
For
need to
sure.
understand how the companies outside India are operating and
Mm.
work accordingly.
Also, like it's, I think it's very important for you guys as founders, to show the teamwork and जिसको बोलते हैं ना, the communication. So also,
Mm.
like, wanna know how's it like working as co-founders, and like what do you guys follow to work together. दोनों के stance सुनना चाहता हूँ. Because I
Yes,
think
Siddha.
I have not experienced this. I am the sole founder yet, and
Mhm.
to share an idea with someone, मेरे दिमाग में इनसिक्योरिटी आ जाएगी until and unless वो मेरा family member हो, stuff like that, है ना? How is it like? No, no.
How it's like a hustle 24/7. You're
Hmm.
yeah, it's hustle like every time. And लाइक टू बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट, अभी ना ऐसे काम काम लगता भी नहीं है अगर आप में वो मतलब जो होता है ना शिद्दत और पैशन, यू
Yeah.
रियली वांट टू क्रिएट समथिंग व्हिच लाइक क्रिएट्स इम्पैक्ट, या आपको कुछ अगर अच्छा काम करना है ना, तो कभी आपको मतलब ना लाइक सी, अगर आप एक फाउंडर पर्सपेक्टिव से सोचोगे आपको काम तो करना ही पड़ेगा. इट्स लाइक नो सैटरडे नो संडे, लाइक
Yeah,
नथिंग.
for sure.
यस. सो अभी मतलब जब आप आपके बार्स देखते हो ना, कि आपके पूरे आप नंबर्स देखते हो या फिर आप आपका काम इम्पैक्टफुल काम देखते हो, दैट एनर्जी इज लाइक समथिंग एल्स ओनली.
So you try removing all those other aspects,
Yeah.
insecurity
या
हो गया, उस वो क्या कह रहा है, मैं कहूँ वो ज्यादा सुनना चाहिए. You basically you have a clear vision, and whatever is in support of that, you just go
Plus,
in
I
that
think you
direction.
guys, you both have the level of understanding and trust on each other, and
Yeah,
I think that is very important.
yeah,
And
definitely. So
uh,
as founders, it's like, see, the trust definitely, yes, and it's always good to separate your responsibilities
yeah,
in order to avoid any chances of future conflicts.
yeah.
So in Brucera, we do have a very clear separation. Like Siddha takes all the creative decisions. She
Hmm.
leads the entire creative team. Whatever
अच्छा.
direction needs to be given, that's the final call is always taken by Siddhita.
Hmm.
I take care of the product decisions. I take care of the flows. I take care of the layout side. I take care of, and then other apart from that, I take care of the business side. So uh, Siddhita won't even question me that how much I'm charging a particular client, whether I'm taking that project or not.
Got it.
She won't question that. She won't tell कि ये क्यों नहीं लिया है, ये क्यों लिया है project,
Yeah.
like that.
The
So she had
understanding.
that kind of understand. We do
Yeah.
have that kind of understand that, and same. I won't like question on her decision that whether this particular design is good or not. See, in my company, like everyone knows that if they show things to me first, I will say, "Yeah, ship karo, ship karo."
Sure.
My mindset is that ship karo, and people are very scared of showing it to Siddhita
Yeah.
because they know for a fact that she will always give feedback, and that's what
The
is
balance that
the
you guys
balance.
have.
Yeah, the
The
balance we
seesaw
have.
is here.
Yes. So we are not very relaxed about the timelines, and we are not also compromising with the quality.
Very
Yeah,
interesting.
quality
And
to
you need to
never.
have a complementing skills.
Hmm.
You need to fill the gaps of each another.
Yeah.
So that's I think that's the that's a way you can decide your founders, or you can have that understanding with the co-founder.
Okay. Let's now do an interesting round of questions. पहला question है छोटा. We'll try to keep it short and crisp because I have multiple questions. So, first questions first. Is it worth it to start an agency in 2024? Yes or no? First, Siddhita. Yes or no?
Yes.
Harsh.
Bilkul.
And why is that?
There always a gap in the industry.
Okay.
You just have to figure out the gap, and you just need to fill that up.
Okay.
So there, it's not possible that all the agencies, because see, when we started, the market was anyway saturated.
Yeah.
Huh.
But we were able to get the best of the clients
Very interesting.
despite of the market being saturated.
Plus the
So
decisions, the storytelling that you guys must have, the name. I think all of these small decisions pile up and create a strong impact. है ना?
yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
every year, every month, in fact, there is
Yeah.
an opportunity.
I
So
agree
you
100%. Yeah, that's for sure.
It's just that the thing that we discussed, the intent needs to be right.
Yeah.
You need to either have a good backing of networks or gain a better experience. Then only you will be able to survive. Because starting is not a challenging part.
Okay.
Okay, I think in the very beginning of this interview, I mentioned that there, like every day, there are thousands of designers. There are thousands of people who becomes designer. Out of those 1,000, almost 900 things starting an agency. But you don't see 900 agencies every day.
Yeah.
You see very few.
Yeah.
Okay, because of these factors.
Yeah. Very interesting. Also, again, answer in yes or no. Is agency sustainable in long term? Obviously, it can be profitable as well, but again, it comes to intent and stuff like that. And the whole discussion the guys have been watching in. But is it sustainable in the coming years of AI and the whole new technology shift that we'll be facing? Because it will be very easy for the companies and the founders, to leverage these tools. And yeah, so wanna know.
I would say if you're leveraging AI, then yes. If you're not, then no.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you want like a very short answer or
Short.
again a long?
Short.
Yes, definitely. Because with AI introduction, you will have
Yes.
more projects because you will be able to take more projects and deliver in lesser amount of time.
Actually, we have started using AI.
Yeah.
Creatives बनाने में या फिर it can be anything. मतलब copywriters को तो replace already कर ही दिया है AI ने.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So
right
what
now
are
we are using
what
AI.
are some AI tools that you guys use, if you can share?
So like different teams uses different type of tools.
Yeah.
So we are using like Mid Journey for referencing.
Okay.
Okay. Again GPT-4 for referencing.
Okay.
Then we are using Adobe Firefly for some of the tweaking.
Okay.
We're using FreePick AI tool. It's one of the most wonderful.
It's really nice. Yeah, it's like
If you're
one of
not
the
using it,
underrated tool, I would say.
yeah. If you're not users, use it. With the Porter, like we are working with Porter, we are working with Dream11, we work with Zepto. We were using all those kind of tools, and
Yeah.
it made life super easy.
Amazing.
Okay. And then this was about the creative part. for the tech for the product team, we do have this tools for making wireframes. We do have Versal AI tool V.O that actually makes like help you to create UI in a particular library format.
Mhm.
And then we are using Locopy for the front end design. Then we are for the motion design we are using Runway.
Run.
So for a fact, like let's an agency like ours, it won't give us a lot of values if we are posting about Diwali, happy Holi, and all.
Yeah.
But earlier we used to give an entire day or two of a designer, a motion designer, to create just a story,
Yeah.
and that was a cost to us. Now we are
Maybe
able to,
Eid ke time pe
yeah,
we
easy
used,
bit.
yeah.
Now we are able to do in minutes and
Hmm.
post it and having the same kind of impact.
Very interesting.
So it's
Yeah,
benefiting a
actually,
lot.
like we created
Creativity
Eid ka creative in maybe less than 5-10 minutes,
Yeah,
Yeah.
5 to 8.
and we
Makes
It
sense.
animate
doesn't
that.
even look. It doesn't even look that we haven't created it.
Very
Yeah.
interesting. Also, like ending the whole episode by few tips on starting an agency from Siddhita and few tips from Harsh. Go for it.
Yeah, Harsh.
Uh, few tips. I think most of them I've covered already.
कोई एक
And
golden tip like the
golden tip:
yeah.
discipline and hard work.
Okay.
That's it. And don't chase money. The money will chase you later on. Yes.
Yeah, actually, like initial time pe we did actually exact the same thing. Like
Hmm.
पैसा बनाना कभी intent था ही नहीं.
Hmm.
It's like मतलब intent was very clear. Yeah, we wanted to do like very good work.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the thing.
अपना
That's
यूएसपी
actually
बनाओ.
key.
अपना यूएसपी बनाओ. That is
Hmm.
one of the most important thing. Like
Yeah.
how you're unique. So we made quality as our USP. We made the right blend of product design and creative design as our
Hmm.
USP.
Hmm.
So in order to
Very
start,
interesting.
you need to have a USP.
Yeah, that USP होना is very important. Otherwise, आप बाकी के 17 से 60 एजेंसी जैसे बन जाओगे.
So
Fair.
and you will
Yeah.
eventually like either you will die, you will earn for sure. देखिए आप किसी
हाँ,
भी
you
तरह
will
की
earn.
agency
Yeah.
बनाओ, you
Market is very huge. You will earn.
Yeah.
will earn, but not that kind of money that you are thinking of.
Hmm.
Hmm.
It's a kind of a stable money because agencies में क्या होता है? Initial years the founders are there, and then like next you will have a very small team, so the profit margin is close to 30-40% or 50% sometimes,
Yeah.
even more than that.
Yeah.
Okay, soon like आप जब आगे बढ़ते रहते हो, like you have 30 member, 40 member, 50 members, the profit margin shrinks to 10 to 15%.
Hmm.
So that's where the challenge is. That's where the resilience is needed. That's where the patience are needed. That's where the hard work is needed. कि यार मैं 10 to 15% में survive करना है. Okay, तो वही a lot of people gives up वहां
Yeah.
पे,
Fair.
है ना?
Yeah.
और उतना
100%.
ही मार्जिन रहता है, ज्यादा मार्जिन नहीं रहेगा. तो आपको कुछ ना कुछ नई चीजें करते रहना पड़ेगा.
Hmm.
You need to keep innovating.
Very
Else
interesting.
you will like you will keep surviving because आपका 10 to 15% margin है, आपका 25% tax है.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
like there's a like very little you can save for yourself.
Very interesting.
So yeah, like keep innovating.
Thank you so much, Harsh and Siddhita, for actually taking out time for this. And obviously, we'll be guys covering you guys and bringing you on the server. That is our main community because I have asked my questions in this podcast, which I think most of the people will have, but I think I'm still missing a huge chunk of questions. So, guys, stay tuned for more sessions in the Discord server. You can find the links and you can find Brucira links in the description. And all the questions that you have, you can ask in the comments. We'll love to reply to you guys. And thank you so much, guys, for joining in. Thank you so much, guys, for you all for actually listening the whole episode. It's been almost 1 hour 8 minutes, and if you have watched the whole episode, that means that you are here for some proper value that Harsh and Siddhita have delivered today. And yeah, stay tuned for coming episodes, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.
And thank you so much, Vansh, for inviting us.
Thank you so much. Bye
Yeah,
bye.
thanks.
Bye bye guys.
Bye.